Hey everybody, how's it going? Our House 21 here, and it's time for another unboxing. So why do I have my XL1 here in the background? This will make sense in a minute. So let's go ahead and dive on in here. So for those who have been paying attention to my social media feeds, you'll know that I've been spending a lot of time recently talking about batteries in the abstract, talking about batteries in the specifics, talking about batteries just because we're talking about batteries. So that's a bit of a clue to what's in the box. So let's go ahead and open this up. Okay. And, okay, we got packaging. And packaging. Aha. 1, 2, and all right. So first off, this is not a battery. This is just a pretty cool little tool that was listed on Turnigy's website, not on Turnigy, on the Hobby King website. And I didn't mention that this package came from Hobby King. And let's see if I can just pop this open. This is a new. I lost one of the bits to my Duratrax toolkit. So instead of just spending $30 to buy a new Duratrax toolkit, I decided to spend like $10 and get this new kit, this new tool that does the job of most of the things that were in my little Duratrax toolkit. So unfortunately, one-handed, I can't seem to get the thing out of the packaging. There we go. Almost there. Keep going. And there we go. So the nice thing about this thing is that it is actually a nice little multi-tool. So I have a combination of Phillips and hex of all sorts of different sizes, metric and standard. So this is like one universal tool to pretty much go after most of the items that, you know, I would need to working in a car. So I don't have to be messing around with a whole full toolkit. So it wasn't that much money. I think it was like $10. I'll get the right price. I'll splice it in. Pretty good acquisition. All right, that's the opening act. And I don't think there's anything else in here. All right, so let's jump in to here. And this has me excited. Stay. The problem with ceramic bearings is that there's so little resistance, the thing doesn't want to stand still. All right, so what's in the box here? All right, this has me really excited because I spent a good chunk of last year complaining about the fact that my SMC batteries, as much as I like them for general purpose bashing and just screwing around with, they just weren't adequate for speed run applications. And I talked to Danny at SMC, and he pretty much confirmed the same thing, that I need to get something much slower internal resistance to really keep up with what I want to do. So that brings me to this brand new Turnigy Graphene LiPo batteries. God, look at the packaging on this thing. This is ridiculous. This is like I gotta just show you this. This is like iPhone packaging. Okay, so you've got this nice box with magnetic clamps on it. Open this thing up. We got this nice little foam here. Oh my God. And it's got a little velvet sack. And voila, the piece de resistance. God, this thing's kind of massive. So this is a Turnigy Graphene 65C discharge 5,000 milliamp hour 3S LiPo battery. Yeah, this thing is moderately huge. All right, so it shouldn't be too much of a guess to imagine what's in this package over here. What do we have? We've got another. Okay, this one's got a little band around it. That's weird. Okay. All right, that was special. Voila, number 2. Turnigy Graphene little velvet sack. I can't get over this packaging. This is just crazy. All right. And this thing, it feels heavy too. All right, so matching Turnigy Graphene 5,000 milliamp hour 65C discharge batteries. These guys are pretty sweet. All right, so let's go ahead and see how these things fit inside the XO1. So I was doing a little ESC programming earlier, so I didn't unplug this thing yet. So let's go ahead and pull this out of the way. And again, one of those things that is much easier doing two-handed versus one. So, all right. So let's see how these things fit, because they look substantial. So let's go ahead and throw one in here. Now, first off, let's just take a look at this thing. This is a pretty beefy battery, and it's not hard case. So, but it seems to be coated with some pretty substantial heat shrink. Okay, you got all the nice little information on here. Warranty code, so I need to register with on the website. A little hologram, so I guess to verify that this is legitimate. And this is funny. It doesn't fit. The battery is so big it doesn't fit. And yeah, so what you can't see here is the XO1 has this battery mount right here. So this guy is slightly wider than standard, and it doesn't want to fit down inside of it. Why is nothing in my life easy? Okay, so let's try this side, and pretty much going to give me the same answer, I'm sure. But yeah, it's wider than standard. Okay, so that doesn't work. However, I'm sure I will think of something. Worst case scenario, I can run them sideways, and I can figure out some sort of custom battery hold down. That's why God gave us Velcro, right? All right, so but you can see, just look at the size of these things. These are not small batteries. Actually, hold on one second. I'm gonna grab one of my new bias batteries and just compare it. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, point number 1. So here you can see I've broken out some of my other LiPo packs, so you can compare just the size of these graphenes. And right off the bat, you can see that these things are big. I mean, like, look at it. So this is my SMC battery, which I thought was a big battery before, and the Turnigy is, I guess, stacking on top of each other. It's maybe a couple extra millimeters wide, and it's about the same height. But I mean, a couple millimeters shouldn't really make that big a difference. But when this thing just barely clears here, see like that? These Turnigys aren't squeezing in here without some modifications. So I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. So I mean, the easy thing is I might be able to clearance these connectors here a little bit. They got these little end caps here, which protect the bearing races. I might be able to shave a couple millimeters off of these pieces to make room for the graphene here, but yeah, that still doesn't get me where I need to be, because you got the box, or the little mounting position down in here, and this isn't wide enough. So I'm probably gonna have to rig up something like this to hold the battery sideways. I could use Velcro, industrial strength Velcro. Actually, probably the most elegant solution is to come up with some sort of Velcro tie down, where I just use some sort of mounting points and secure the batteries that way, horizontally like this. That hurts my head to do it, but the batteries, like I said, they're longer than the other ones as well. And there's not a lot of play in here, so I could probably get away with doing that. So probably the simplest thing to do would be to rig up something that goes from, maybe something on each side, from here to here, or from, well, I don't have to engineer it now, but I'm going to have to figure out some sort of hold down method for this. I've seen a few guys that use Velcro, industrial strength Velcro, as their primary hold down, and then literally Velcroing it to the connector, and then doing another mechanical connection on top of it. I'll figure something out. This is special. I guess the other thing I could do, I've got some extra ones of these. I could cut these, make a custom bracket to go up and then fit down in here. I mean, that's another option too. So if I do something like that, this will come up, come over this, come down, and then connect into the hold down. Actually, I like that better. I'll figure it out. But I'm gonna have to do something non-standard for these things. And you can just see right here, this is comparing this to my bias batteries here. And you just the difference in size of this thing. I mean, here you can clearly see, these guys are a few millimeters less thick. I'm lining it up so that they're even, they're flush on this side. You can see there's probably about 2 or 3 millimeters difference here. Turn the light so you can see better. So there's extra space here, and these are also taller and they're longer. So these are physically much more massive, which kind of makes sense. The other thing is you can see that they come with a different connector on it. I'm not sure what connector this is. XT60, XT40. It's a nice high voltage, high current connector, but I'm going to have to cut it because I run castle connectors. So I'm going to go ahead and have to splice in a couple of these before I can even charge them. But, job number one is to go ahead and get these guys with a new connector on them so I can charge them up so I can start playing with them. So, first order of business, after I get the connector on, put them on the charger and just get an initial measurement from the charger what the internal resistance is. And I've already told you guys, these SMCs, I'm getting charger numbers of about 7 milliamps. I keep saying milliamps. Your charger numbers about 7 milliohms to 13, I think, on the other one. These bias batteries, I've been getting numbers in the 4 to 5 milliohm range per pack. I see that as you under load, this changes though. I've got numbers about 15 milliohms under load. These were more like 7. So I'm curious to see what this is going to look like. So I've got some fabbing and I got some rigging up to do. But that's what this game's all about. Doing something cool, right? Alright guys, I hope you found this interesting. Stay tuned to see further developments in the continuing sagas of the Our House 21 Battery Brigade. But remember the mantra, fly, fix, fly, break it, fix it, do all over again, and fab the little stuff along the way. Don't forget to check me out on social media. That's Facebook and Instagram and all the other sources. And stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of developments in here. A lot of people are really, really buzzing about these batteries and chomping at the bit to see how they really perform. So I'm really happy to have these things in hand and see what they do. I have very high hopes for them though. I doubt that I'm going to be let down by them. All right, guys. Our host signing out. Peace.